Last time we showed you guys the Nürburgring, it was in a pretty early state. We had just finished modeling the Nordschleife and the GP separately, but we hadn't combined them. Over the last few months, we've gone through the process of combining the tracks and starting to build out all the objects and textures that are required to fill in the detail that is necessary to complete the project. Things such as the terrain, the trees, the garages, the tribunes, grandstands, everything you see, our artists have been working on. We're in the final push for a December release, and we're really excited about it. We've spent a lot of time at the Nürburgring over the last year, starting with a year ago when we sponsored the Blancpain race there. This year we returned to the Nürburgring for the Sim Racing Expo, and we brought a version of the track with us, which we shared with our members in a pre-release status. It was almost complete. We have a lot of polish over the next month or so left to do, and we're going to share with you some of that progress that we've made since then. Our art and production team have worked incredibly hard on this project over the last year. And one of the really gratifying things that we were able to do when we were in Germany for the Sim Expo was we sat down with Dennis Steffens, who's part of the management team there, who helped us put this deal together. And we were able to show him the track and all the little details that we put into it, and walk through a lap of the track with him. Explain the process that we went through and see his reaction to the hard work that we put in, and he was pretty happy about it, so it was cool to see.
Yesterday I finally had the chance to see the first results and the first version of the Nordschleife simulation, and I was completely impressed and kind of speechless about all the details that iRacing put into the track and all the efforts they put in it, and he showed me so many parts of the track that even I haven't seen before, and well, I kind of realized that he knows the Nordschleife already better than I do. It's very impressive. Really, really, really good.
Some of the details that we put in really surprised Dennis when we showed him, such as the gas station. There's this gas pump here that is out of order, and it's been out of order for years. This is one of the details that Dennis was really blown away by and actually gave us the backstory. They just put that there so people won't park there because it blocks the flow of the entire gas station. And it's an extremely busy gas station, so that would be a big problem. As we continue down this long straight, we're approaching the taxi lap tourist drive center. This is essentially the main location where people will buy their tourist lap tickets and go out on track. This is one of the experiences that we're going to recreate in our version of the track. People will be able to experience the tourist lap in iRacing, and it's actually, I think, a huge benefit. Thousands, tens of thousands of people turn laps at the Nordschleife every year with no prior preparation. Imagine if you could do that in iRacing beforehand, get to know the track before you put your $70,000 sports car at risk in the real world. It really makes a lot of sense. Now, this is one of the first times we've showed this track in full resolution in this state, and I just want it to be understood that we're still in the polish phase, so you won't notice a lot of shrubbery, tall grass, and vegetation that we'll be putting in that final polish that makes an iRacing track really shine. We're doing that right now, so we're spending the next month in that phase of development, and when it comes out, it should look a lot different. One of the more important things that we like to do when we visit a track is to really understand what is important about that track. We hear time and time again from drivers and members that when they're driving on a track, there are these unique things that they look for that help them know when to slow down for a turn, when to brake for a turn, and prepare for something coming up. With the Nordschleife and its immense size, it's very important that we get that right. So we spent a lot of time doing laps with Rob Holland, and he was nice enough to take us around and just basically walk us through a lap and what he goes through in his preparation for each of the turns, the things that help identify crucial areas of the track to hit.
Compression right there. There's a lip here that kind of pushes you up a little bit. That sign and that sign are important because those are the braking reference points.
All right.
This is Swedenkreuz. The car gets really light there. This pavement change right there is another braking point. Everyone uses that to brake down in armor. Yep. This has got tons of grip right through here, so you get in way earlier than you think. And the pavement's a little bit broken up there. Been racing on and off for, God, far too many years to remember. Mainly based over here at the Nürburgring, but also race in World Touring Car Championships, British Touring Car Championships, any of the endurance series, GT3 cars, pretty much what anyone will stick me into, I race. But mainly been based out here for the past 3 years, doing the VLN and the 24 hours of Nürburgring. Every track you go to as a driver, you look for reference points, but on most tracks, like F1 tracks, you've got big braking markers and you've got things that you can easily identify as turn-in points or apexes or whatever that you can use lap after lap. This track is so long, and the biggest thing about this track is most of the corners you run here are blind. So you'll come across a corner at 140 miles an hour and you don't have a reference point that to look for, and if you don't, then you're coming off of the corner blind, which at 140 miles an hour isn't really a good thing. So having as many reference points as possible is key to basically being able to turn in a good lap here. So for me, it's with that thousands of laps, you just start picking out things to use as braking markers and really identify not only where you are in the corner, but how fast you're getting into the corner, and if it's something that you're coming in a bit too hot or you can carry a bit more speed. There's not a single thing that makes it unique, which is what really makes it unique, is that obviously you've got the length of the track, which is massive. You've got the number of corners, which is, once again, massive. The bumps, which are incredibly difficult, which you really don't realize until you get here. The elevation, it's 2,000, 2,500 feet of elevation every lap. And you can go on and on and on. I mean, and it's that combination and how it all comes together, which is what makes this track it's the most challenging thing you'll ever do in a race car.
I can see that the guys working on it have already identified some key points, because there are places where I know you're going to fill in a whole forest, but you've just picked a couple of trees that I'm interested in at the moment, which is very interesting.
The widths and the car placements are all absolutely in the middle of that uncanny valley for me. It's so utterly close to reality. I have I've never driven the Nordschleife in digital form like this, ever before. When I've done it wrong, I already know I've done it wrong before I get to the exit of the corner, because I'm reaching the apex, and the back of my brain that drives every lap for me in the races has already calculated it and said, this is right, this is wrong.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it with the level of detail that I've already seen on the GP track, which you told me is not finished. But that's already way above everything I've seen, so.
We take a great deal of pride in all of the little details that we put into our tracks. And you might wonder why don't we just rush the tracks out and release them, but really to capture the essence of a racetrack, and especially for people who have been at that racetrack and who have spent time there, you need all of the little details, you need all of the little things that when they come together as a whole, they really help capture the essence of that track and that experience for people who have driven there, watched races there, or just experienced it at home. They're going to be experiencing in iRacing the most accurate and believable versions of these tracks possible. It was actually really cool to bring Nürburgring to the Sim Expo and show our members. It's a track where our entire department has been working on it for the last year. It's been pretty much one of the main things I think about every day when I wake up, when I go to sleep. And to show it to our members, I was nervous. I was concerned about what they might think, because it's not done. And there's a lot of polish left to do. But even in the state that it's in now, everybody was really enthused by it and impressed. It was rewarding to see after putting so much work into it. And we're really excited to kind of go through the final push and put the last polish in for the release.